Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We are currently in that time frame between Christmas and New Year's, and what better time to really take a step back and analyze your golf game and figure out what needs to be done to have a successful 2025. What I'm trying to do in 2025 is get a top 5 in a professional mini tour event, as well as qualify for the Carolinas Open and make the cut at that event. So some big goals. I haven't played a lot of tournament golf. Just started getting into tournament golf this last year, and I'm excited to work on it. Played other sports at various levels as well, and something that Germane and I talked about on our last practice round was in sports trying to peak at the right times. In golf, we know it's a game of swings, and sometimes you have high peaks and good hot streaks, but then you can also get into a funk and have some cold streaks as well. So with winter time here, really trying to focus on dialing in, making necessary changes to our game. Realize now is not the time where we should be playing our very best golf. Now is the time to make changes so that when tournament season does come around, we're ready to go. So for me, some of the things I'm trying to work on here during the off season for winter is one, my pre-shot routine. Trying to be as consistent as possible, especially here during the off season, just during practice rounds, so that when it's crunch time, when there's pressure, it just comes second nature. So really trying to be consistent with that with every shot, including putts. So pre-shot routine. The next thing is my driver. Made a swing change at the end of last season, which I don't think was super beneficial. I switched from playing a cut with my drive to playing a draw. I think I was doing okay with that, but I feel like naturally I play a cut much more comfortably, and it just suits my eye a little bit more. It feels better with my swing, so we're going back to a cut. So because of that swing change, kind of going back to that, my driver has not been super consistent. So going to the footage, recent practice round, we can see here, pre-shot routine, no practice swings over the ball. I pick an intermediate spot, line my club face up, and then build my stance. So just so you know, that's the pre-shot routine. Step up with the swing change. The consistency has not been there. So as you can see here, this is an example of a pull hook straight into the trees. So not great. I was playing with Germane during this round, who is also a swing coach as well as a really good player. So he has been helping me with a couple things. Moved the ball a little bit further back in my stance, and that was one of the big swing changes that we made. So this was the very next hole, implementing that ball just a little bit further back, and it definitely straightened things out a little bit. I was just playing it a little too far forward, so that was one of the swing changes we made to try to straighten out my drives. This was the very next hole. Again, same pre-shot routine. Line it up, pick my intermediate point, square the club face, build my stance, ball a little bit further back, and another good one. So since that swing change has been implemented, been feeling a lot better about my driver, feels just more consistent, and so I'm excited about that. Now with the pre-shot routine, again, really trying to do that with my putts as well, picking an intermediate point just 1 or 2 feet in front of the ball. So here's that process. I did not make a very good putt here, but just to illustrate that process, no practice swing, standing over the ball. Do that beforehand. Once you lay the club face down on your line, build your stance, and go from there. So that wasn't a great putt. Here's that same process. Lay the club face down on your line, build your stance, and then take your swing. So trying to be very consistent with that, and missed this putt as well, but it was a much better putt, just hanging on the lip there. So there's my pre-shot routine with my putts. The last thing that I'm really trying to work on in my game is controlling the spin around the greens. I have been very inconsistent with kind of the 20 to 70 yard range, where those are situations where if you miss the green really bad, you have to get up and down, or if you're within that distance of the green to just hit the green regulation, those are the opportunities you're wanting to make birdie and be able to get that chip shot as close as possible to be a makeable putt. So really trying to control the spin around the green. And so that's another thing that I feel like I've made a lot of improvements on during my off-season practice. Here's an example of that, of keeping the ball low and skipping it up and controlling that spin, so you have more of a predictable rollout. Here's another shot at it, and that bounce, managing your carry distance on the bump and runs, as well as that spin to control the rollout. So here's the last one. Feel like that's some good progress. Again, just trying to make the changes now to my game and figure them out early during this off season. So as we continue to practice, we're not consistently making changes. We're starting to get used to the changes we've already made. Trying to stay consistent with those throughout the rest of this off season so that I can peak during the right time and play really good tournament golf. So Happy New Year. We're excited for 2025 and hopefully follow along and we can accomplish some of our goals.